Welcome to the Pearson Access Next Test Administrator Training. Today I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to be successful in administering the PARCC test to your students. Let's get started. I'm going to assume that you've been given the proper website address to use via email or some other announcement. Once you navigate to the website, you will need to click the green Sign In button. On the next screen, enter your username and password and then click the Sign In button. Your username and password should have been provided to you in an email from Pearson. There are two versions of the Pearson Access Next website. One is used for training and infrastructure trials, and the other is used for live testing. So the first thing that you need to do once you are signed in is to verify that you have signed in to the one that you need. Here's how to tell. If you are on the training site, there will be a training label in the top left corner. You will also notice that the color scheme is brown. If you are on the live testing site, there is no training label and the color scheme is blue, as you can see here. The color schemes are quite different so that you know which version of the site you are on at all times. We're going to continue using the training site for this demonstration. The next thing that we need to do is make sure that we select the correct testing period. You will notice at the top of my screen it says PARCC Operational Spring EOI 2015. You may need to change this to a different test. I'm going to click on the test name, click on 2015-16, and then select 2016 Spring PARCC. If you're using the same test administrator account as last year, you will likely need to perform this step the first time you log in. Now that all of that is out of the way, we can get to the meat of the training. From the testing menu, select the Students and Sessions option. On the left-hand side of this page, there is a text box under Session List. You're going to type your session name into this box. To get your session name, you will need to look at a student ticket. You will get all of your students' tickets on the day of testing. This is an example of a student ticket, and as you can see, there is a session name at the top. Once you have entered the session name into the text box, click on the session name in the drop-down box below the text box. As of the making of this video, pressing enter won't work like it did last year. This screen is where you're going to spend most of your time. It's divided into distinct areas, each with their own specific function. I'm going to cover the ones that will be most useful to you as a test administrator. Because for this demonstration my screen size is particularly small, the first thing I'm going to do is hide the filters area so that I can see more columns in the list of students at the bottom of the page. You can choose to do this or not depending on your screen size. The second thing I'm going to do is change the number of students that are displayed. If you have more than 25 students in your session, you might benefit from displaying 50 students. We will once again be centrally starting your test sessions for you this year. But just in case yours is not started for some reason, you can do so by clicking on the green Start button. You will see that after clicking the Start button, it is replaced by a Stop button. That's it, your session is started and students can now log in. Below the Stop button, you will notice a gray bar for each unit. These are progress bars that will help you get an idea of the overall testing status of the students in your session. Each testing status has its own color, which is displayed in the key to the right of the progress bar. The bar is currently gray because all of my students are in a ready state, which means they have not yet started testing. The testing status for individual students is displayed in the list at the bottom of the page. The color codes are the same as the progress bar above, but here there is also a text label to help identify their status. The progress bar and student statuses do not update automatically. You must click the blue refresh button at the top of the page in order to update them. Starting the session lets students log in, but before they can begin a test unit, we must unlock the unit. These locks have replaced seal codes for this year's testing. To unlock the unit, click and hold while you slide the lock switch to the right. Because of this new unlock feature, you will need to manually lock any students that are absent to prevent them from testing. To do so, scroll down to the student and click on the arrow next to their testing status and choose Lock. My students have now started testing and I have clicked the refresh button. You will notice that the progress bar now shows partially green. If we scroll down, the student list shows 2 students as active. If you want to see the individual progress for a student, you can click the words on their status. If you'd like, you can enlarge this pop-up window by clicking the left-hand icon in the top right-hand corner. The first thing you will notice is a progress bar similar to the last screen, but this one displays the student's item progress. The key for this progress bar is displayed beneath the bar. If you scroll down, you can see whether the student has visited and/or answered each question. You can also see a timestamp of the last time they visited the question. It's important to note that test answers are uploaded from the student's device to Pearson 3 at a time. This means that this information will update on a slight delay. Also, like the previous screen, this one does not update automatically, so you'll need to use the blue refresh button at the top of the student progress window to refresh the information. When you're done looking at the student information, you can close the window by clicking the X in the top right-hand corner. The next item we are going to cover is resuming student tests. Depending on the way in which the student exited their test, their status might show as either exited or active, as we can see here with these two students. Either way, when the student logs into TestNav, they will see a grayed out resume button for the unit they are working on until you resume their test on this screen. For the exited student, click on the arrow next to their testing status and choose Resume from the drop-down. For the active student, click on the arrow next to their testing status and choose Resume Upload from the drop-down. You'll only have the one that you need to pick. Their status will change to show Resumed. On the student device, have them click Refresh, and they should see a blue Resume button. The final item I have to show you is how to lock the session. As you might guess, this is as simple as clicking and holding while you slide the switch back to the left. This year you won't need to worry about stopping test sessions, as we'll be handling that for you centrally. That's it! You've made it through Test Administrator training. Review this video before the first day of testing or as many times as it takes for you to feel comfortable with the process. If you find any errors or have suggestions to improve this training, please email me and let me know.